What if I told you that truly intelligent men carry a secret most people never notice? It's not about how much they know, how many books they've read, or how clever their words are. Their real strength lies in silence, in restraint, in the ability to hold their tongue when others rush to speak. Welcome to the Stoic Flame, where wisdom meets discipline and where every conversation helps you sharpen the way you think, act, and live. Today we're exploring 7 things intelligent men never say, not because they're perfect, but because they've learned that certain words weaken the mind, destroy credibility, and close the doors to growth. Let us begin with one that sounds harmless, but reveals something deeper. I already know that. We've all said it. Maybe out of habit, maybe out of pride. But when a man says, I already know that, what he's really saying is, there's nothing left for me to learn. And that's dangerous. Years ago, I worked with a mentor who carried himself with quiet confidence, a man who spoke less, but said more. During one meeting, he began explaining something I thought I understood. Without thinking, I interrupted him. Yeah, I know that already. He stopped, looked at me, then continued calmly, without a word of correction. But later that night, I realized I hadn't just interrupted him. I'd cut myself off from wisdom that only experience can teach. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You cannot learn anything when you think you already know everything." Intelligent men keep their minds open because knowledge is not a trophy, it's a river, always moving, always changing. True wisdom begins when the ego ends. The second phrase they avoid is, "That's impossible." I once worked under a leader who said it constantly. Every time a new idea appeared, his answer was the same. That's impossible. He wasn't protecting the company. He was protecting his comfort. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And that's exactly what he did. He imagined defeat before the battle even began. Intelligent men understand that what feels impossible is often just unfamiliar. Courage, not certainty, builds success. The Stoic approach is simple. Focus on what you can control. Take one step, then another. The path appears only to those who walk. The third phrase, and perhaps one of the most damaging, is, "That's not my fault." These words feel safe. They protect the ego, but they also surrender power. Every time you push responsibility away, you give up control over your future. I once had a friend who lost a major client. He blamed the team, the market, the timing, everything except himself. Months later, he was still stuck in the same cycle because he refused to see his part in it. The Stoics teach that you can't always control what happens, but you can always control your response. When you take responsibility, even for a small piece of the problem, you take back your power. Intelligent men know that responsibility is not blame, it's freedom. The fourth phrase they avoid is, "I don't need any help." Society has told men for generations that strength means standing alone, but in truth, refusing help is not strength, it's pride disguised as independence. Abraham Lincoln, during the darkest years of the Civil War, surrounded himself with people who challenged him. He sought advice, even from rivals. Not because he was weak, but because he was wise enough to know he couldn't see everything alone. Marcus Aurelius himself thanked his teachers, mentors, and friends in his writings, acknowledging that no man reaches greatness by isolation. Intelligent men understand that asking for help is not surrender. It's strategy, it's humility in action, and it's the mark of someone strong enough to choose growth over ego. Then there's the fifth phrase, "I'm too old for that." This is not just a sentence, it's a surrender. It's the moment a man closes the door on his potential. I once read about a man named Harry Bernstein. He wrote his first book at 93. It was rejected many times before finally being published when he was 96. It went on to become an international success. Harry didn't believe he was too old to start. He believed he was still alive to live. The Stoics remind us that age means nothing to the soul. Marcus Aurelius said that every day you wake up is a chance to live with purpose. Intelligent men don't measure time in years. They measure it in effort, in curiosity, in courage. You're not too old. You're simply out of excuses. The sixth phrase is one you have probably whispered to yourself 1,000 times. "I'll do it later." That's the most elegant lie we tell ourselves. It sounds responsible, but it quietly kills dreams. Later becomes never. I once knew a man who planned to spend more time with his father when things calmed down. They never did. His father passed away, and all that was left were words he never said. Marcus Aurelius warned himself daily, you could leave life right now, not to be dark, but to remind himself to act now. Intelligent men don't wait for the perfect moment. They make the moment perfect by acting. Time is the one resource we never get back. So whatever matters, say it, build it, fix it, now. And the seventh phrase, the quiet killer of growth, that's just how I am. Those 6 words are a cage. They sound like acceptance, but they're really avoidance. I've seen men hide behind that sentence for years. They say it to justify temper, laziness, fear. But intelligent men know we are not fixed. We are fluid. We can evolve. Epictetus said, it's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Change begins the moment you decide that who you were yesterday doesn't have to define who you are today. Growth demands honesty and discomfort. Intelligent men welcome that. They see themselves not as finished products, but as constant works in progress. Because real strength is not in saying, that's just how I am, but in saying, I'm willing to become better. So, what do these 7 phrases have in common? Every one of them is a wall we build to protect our pride, and every one of them keeps us from growing. Intelligent men, stoic men, learn to take those walls down. They listen when others talk. They challenge the word impossible. They take responsibility, ask for help, stay curious regardless of age, act now, and never let old habits define them. That's what it means to live with strength and clarity. At the Stoic Flame, that's what we're building. A mindset of calm power, of discipline, of growth. So ask yourself, which of these phrases do you still hold on to? Maybe it's time to let one go. Because the journey to wisdom isn't about perfection. It's about progress. And every time you choose reflection over reaction, humility over pride, action over excuses, you light the flame that never dies. Stay strong, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.